Welcome to the Weight Free Wellness Podcast. I'm Tara Bachland, and this is episode number 28, From Pain to Podcast. To simply put it, pain really inspired this podcast. And it kind of even sounds funny to say that because that seems like such a negative start. But if I really look back on it, it's very true. And the one thing that I can say for sure is that your pain, wherever you're experiencing it in life, although I tend to focus on health in this podcast, your pain has a message for you. At a young age, I experienced the type of health challenges that people many times my age faced only due to prolonged stress and abuse of their bodies. So at a young age, it almost seemed like it was unfair, that I was experiencing those things. I've overcome the symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease, and painful skin conditions. I treated my underlying nutritional deficiencies and resulting anxiety and depression, irregular menstrual cycles, and much more. And I get into that more in other podcasts, so I don't want to keep listing all of these things. And also in my book, You-niversal Self-care. And at that time, doctors were not readily diagnosing IBS and celiac disease. And at the time, I was experiencing the height of these symptoms in the late 80s. It was almost non-existent. I mean, they were in the literature books and so forth. But even nowadays, you can come in with the symptoms and still not be diagnosed. And that's why I say that I was experiencing symptoms of, because I don't want to be misleading technically, although I'm very familiar with the symptoms. And, I gained a lot of self-confidence when I found many more answers to my ailments as soon as I began researching and taking control of my own health. And so that's why I can confidently say that I have these symptoms, but I'm going to be careful in saying that I was not diagnosed. So as a young adult, I endured also very painful hardships in relationships. And I'm not going to get into it too much at this point. And because these people are still alive, I'm very careful in how I relay this information because I really feel that, we can really learn from other people's experiences. But I'm very careful. Like, as I said, these other people are still around. And so anyways, that's another conversation for another day. But it was such an excruciating time. As they say, I would not have wished this upon my worst enemies. And I address emotional and relationship health as a part of overall wellness in this podcast because I've realized personally how much our relationships affect our health, as much or more as diet, nutrition, and exercise. So you'll see and hear some more of the podcasts on relationships later. But these hardships and overcoming definitely made me stronger and wiser. Having overcome great struggles myself, it is very difficult to see others feeling that they are a victim of their own bodies and situations. Once you've been through something, that that a person is actually stronger than they think. And also, naturally, I'm an empathic person, which means that I feel to varying degrees, depending on the situation, what other people are experiencing. It was, and it still is, very difficult to experience others' suffering. And I knew someday that I would contribute somehow to educate, uplift, and inspire others to overcome as well. Ever since I was a teenager, I had a really growing desire. And if I'm honest, actually, it was really a drive. Like it was driving me. Not just a desire where it's kind of up in the air somewhere and someday that would be nice. It was something that was really inside me and pushed me to do things, to discover and create what I could in order to help others. So this drive, this thing that was to become weight-free wellness, hounded me to overcome, to discover, to create, to learn things I hated to do, which I'm putting in air quotes. This is technology. Yeah, I'm running a podcast. I've created my own site and everything. But my worst, my most difficult thing to overcome is technology. And I see now that it was really all in preparation, that I had to be prepared to receive the name Weight-Free Wellness so that I could do something with it. So to me, when it comes to helping people, I see that there are a few routes. There are probably many more than this that we can go in helping others, but I'm just going to name a few. So one is simply giving of oneself and giving resources in order to help, giving your time, donating items, or even money. Two is to teach, and that can involve, of course, giving one's time, but that's just more of a specific role, as the first one can be more of a serving role. And three, that is something that's often overlooked or misinterpreted as even brute capitalism, is that there are those people who don't just want to create for money, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, but people who want to also create to create opportunity. And what I think is overlooked is that there are people who not just want to create um, monetary gain and reward, but at the same time, or even more so, create opportunities for other people. People who have gone to school for years to learn a certain skill, but then need the environment to apply that in and feel that they have a really solid place and purpose in life. Or even people who have not been to school but want a valuable and good paying job so that they can feel also that they have meaning and purpose in this world. And finally, I see that there are the people who want to help, who play the role in shining the light. And I'll get into that in a little bit. So those who serve and give don't always fit into just one of the categories above that I just mentioned. Indeed, this podcast, this entire weight-free wellness endeavor fits into multiple categories and will grow and change. The most valuable resource we have is time. And, I simply did not have enough time to educate and share with people what I had learned from the painful experiences that I had been through, and reach as many people as I wanted to help by talking to people one-on-one at a time, one person at a time. I had to expand my reach. That's how this podcast began. You learn to propel yourself when you read or listen to information, or at least in my experience, when there are times when we need to feel the direct power and passion by sitting across from someone as they share their experience and story. And there is an initial high, when you're sitting across from that person and they're relaying the story, and you can just feel the exuberance or the lessons learned, but it can wear off, soon after that encounter. I really find the most valuable tools for me have been those that I could use to read and listen to over and over again for education, support, and inspiration. It's kind of like having that talk, that person who is helping across the table, having them whenever I need them. And I can relive that powerful situation and have it continue to inspire me rather than having to conjure it up in my memory. And in my life, the most victorious achievements were those I accomplished by finding and assembling the puzzle pieces for myself. Sure, I might have had a mentor or guide who chimed in from time to time, someone who at times would shed the light to teach me, but did not do for me what I could do for myself. And I think that's really important, that even when we're giving of our time and our resources, I think there's a point where we need to be careful that we're not giving too much, because you can actually take the reward away from someone of their own accomplishments. And as I'm sure you've heard the saying go, teach a man to fish, right? The Way Through Wellness is about empowerment. We'll help you to find the puzzle pieces. We'll even demonstrate how to put them together, but you are the only one who can put it to work. And there are teachers all around us. I used to feel overwhelmed thinking that I had to continue to be on the cutting edge of all health and wellness information, that I had to have all the information. But what a relief when I realized that this is simply not possible. And this is also not where I thrive. I love to share, to help, to lift up and shine the light on others who are doing the amazing, groundbreaking work. I love finding these people, learning what they do, and create a platform for them to share. Way Free Wellness is about making your wellness journey simpler by helping you find the teachers and resources to help you on your way. Way Free Wellness is also about connection and opportunities. Definitely getting beyond the pain point for me was finding resources. We are at an amazing time of technology and creation. Arguably, the most challenging of things these days is keeping up with all the information and opportunities available to us. I aspire to help connect those in need of valuable health supporting resources with those brilliant people who dedicate their life's work to creating the tools, even if this tool is themselves, to help and heal others. Weight Free Wellness is about helping to create opportunities for those dedicated to teaching, providing services, and creating healthy products by helping people connect. And then there's finally just bringing it together and shedding the light. My own wellness journey has taught me many things: what to pack, which routes to take, and in which season to take which routes, whom to have as a companion along the way, and when to seek a guide. It is my absolute pleasure to empower others on their journey in health and life, because it all relates, right? Weight Free Wellness is about empowerment. So the underlying message, if you haven't noticed already or from previous podcasts, but I just want to make it clear here, because these are definitely things that I've learned from my painful experiences to getting to this point of having a podcast and not only sharing my experiences, but those of others. I love inspiring stories and, of course, great resources, but this is really the undertone. First of all, that healing is possible. And second, the healing journey can be simple. Third, love yourself. Develop self-compassion. You must begin here. Number 4, you can overcome whatever you're going through. It'll be worth it. Trust me. Number 5, sometimes you need to fight. Yes, sometimes on your journey, you need to fight for what you want to happen. But sometimes, also interestingly, sometimes you need to sit back. And at all times, I really encourage you to love. And number 6, you are loved. Love heals. I invite you to watch, listen, and read, and most of all, enjoy these podcasts. And also subscribe. There are links in the sidebar at weightfreewellness.com. You can subscribe on iTunes, Android, YouTube, and you can also subscribe to our newsletter, which you get monthly updates. And that's just more of a summary, but if you definitely want to get more up-to-date updates, the subscribing option is the way to go. And thank you for listening to this Weight Free Wellness podcast. Until next time.